Welcome back to the Money Is Show. And this week we have a special guest for you. His name is Jeremiah the Bull Evans. And I met Jeremiah several months ago. Was down at his podcast called The Bullpen. Had a great time. And just like me, loves freaking America, loves capitalism, loves business, loves helping entrepreneurs. We hit it off in a great way. And I want to get him on the show. Mainly because he's done some incredible things past that. This is his second business he's launched with over $10 million in revenue in both businesses. His current business right now is over $25 million in revenue within the first 3 years of being open. And he did all of that by the age of 26 years old. He was also a D1 quarterback at the great BYU, which is very close to Alabama football, which I freaking love. And he did all that, like I said, by the age of 25. He owns a company called Alpha Influence. And from Alpha Influence, he's now launching many different ventures in what's called Alphacon and Alpha's Creed, which we'll get into on this podcast. On that note, you guys welcome Jeremiah the Bull Evans to the show. Jeremiah, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, brother. It's a legendary show. I'm excited to be here.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, we had a great time, man. I'm super jealous of your bullpen. It's like my envy of where I'm headed. I actually was literally working on floor plans last night or yesterday in office of a new. Because most people come to my office and they're super jealous.
Oh, yeah.
But then I came to your office, I'm like, oh, shit. Because your office is dope, bro.
Okay, so that makes me feel good because I walked into your office and I was jealous. I was like, shit.
No, I was telling Doug, I'm like, okay, I got to redo everything, bro. I got to go buy a new building. I got to do this now. Yeah, dude, super cool place. First, let's talk about that, just out of curiosity. You know, you built this $25 million a year revenue in company that you currently own, Alpha Influence.
Right.
You built it in 3 years.
Yeah.
Why go launch a podcast? Because you just launched that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Right? What made you go launch a podcast?
You know, that's super funny you're saying that because as an entrepreneur, I think one of the things a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with when they launch their brand, launch their business, is they want to focus on a niche and they want to focus on all these things. And I struggle with that because, as you said, starting out, I love money. You know, I love helping entrepreneurs, but that's actually not really my passion. My passion is freedom. My passion is you know, talking about, you know, mind, your money, you know, muscle, like so many different things. And, you know, in my business, I could talk about that with my teams, my sales teams. I could talk about that stuff, but I'm just building my brand on one thing. And I'm more than that, you know, like there's so much more to me that I know people agree with, especially what's happening in the world and in this country. And I wanted to, if people listen or not, I wanted to share my thoughts and bring on some incredible people like yourself who have incredible things to give. And that's why I wanted to do that, just kind of get that out there, you know?
Why do you think, so like I love talking and trying to help entrepreneurs. Like, so every today's Friday, every Thursday, I block off about half a day from like 8 to like maybe 1-ish. And I do nothing but people interview me for podcasts in my office. And so, and I block it off and do it for free. But every Thursday I get like freaking pumped. Yeah. Like I just get so excited to be on these podcasts. And some of them have like 0 listeners. I don't give a shit. But I go on the podcast because they're about entrepreneurship. They're about helping other entrepreneurs, whatever it is. And it's some of the things like dude, it like when you have like the hair in the back of your neck stand up, when I get on these, when I'm trying to help entrepreneurs. Why do you think entrepreneurs, and I'm not the only one, you do it, but so many entrepreneurs that I know freaking love helping entrepreneurs. Yeah. Why do you think it is that, I have an opinion here, but why do you think it is that entrepreneurs love to help other entrepreneurs? I'm
really curious to hear your thought because I've been thinking about this for a long time. Number one, when I think of an entrepreneur, I think my definition of an entrepreneur is they see a problem in the world and they take it personal. Yeah. Because like that is my definition of an entrepreneur. Yeah. And people used to ask me what I define as entrepreneur, like, oh, they want to, you know, like build stuff. No. At the end of the day, I've looked at them like an entrepreneur is someone who sees a problem, they take it personal. Yeah. Because I talk about problems all the time, and you know what we always say? I wish someone would invent that. I can't wait for someone to invent this, you know? Yeah. But it's the entrepreneur who takes it personal. They take it personally, say, I'm going to make that change. And the entrepreneurs like to help other entrepreneurs because they love to see problems and want to fix it. Yeah. They love to see things in other people or in something, and they take it personal that they can make a difference. They believe in themselves enough to at least go out there and do it. Yeah. So that's why they love helping other entrepreneurs. Number one, they've gone through it. Number two, that's just their nature. Yeah. The nature of the entrepreneur. That's what built America's entrepreneurs. That's what runs the world as entrepreneurs, the people who take it personal and have enough confidence to go make that difference.
Yeah, dude, that's a great freaking point, man. And you actually said my answer at the back half of yours. You said my answer was, I think for me, it's like I was the first generation who, like, for my family, went out and pursued this and tried to create wealth, and I had so many failures along the way. I mean, just so many failures. Forget big ones, just little ones, just constantly. And I love turning around and saying, okay, listen, I promise you can take my advice or not. I'm okay with that. But if you'll do this, it'd be so much better for you. Because as you go down the road and you have these failures, it's like, gosh, I could just turn around and tell you, don't do this or don't do this.
Right.
And part of me feels obligated to turn around and tell other people. It's like, I want you to know this. But I think your answer is like spot on as well. Because I just was thinking through, even when you came in a couple days ago, I had no idea where we were going to go with that freaking conversation.
That's right.
But like, as you were saying your answer, I'm like, oh shit, that's literally what just took place. Because as an entrepreneur, I saw like a problem. I'm like, oh, wait a second, no, here, you should play this, play this. Because I don't know any better. But like you said, take it fucking personally. Like, and then you're over here trying to say like, hey, how can I pay you? Can I help you? I'm like, no, I love this shit. I said it to you, like, oh no, I geek out on this stuff of doing it. And you're right, dude. Entrepreneurs take it personally.
Yes.
They take it personally when
and that's
there's
okay.
a problem. It's like, oh, here, I want to fix this. I want to make this better.
Yes.
I want to make it better for everybody. That's whatever it is, the thing is, I want to make it better for the person that's doing it. I want to make it better for the customers that are going to show up. I want to make it better for everybody. That's a good answer.
Thank you.
On that point, I want to get to a little bit different on the show. I want to do your money is question first versus at the end.
Switching it up.
So a little bit, I think I'm going to do this I think, Doug, I've only done like 1 or 2 times have I done it with this way. So we're going to do your answer at the beginning this time. So
bring it on.
We have the money is signed here with Jeremiah the Bull. And obviously we did this, Jeremiah, because, and I know you speak on wealth all the time.
All the time.
You had your 3 main points you hit. Wealthy people, it's so true, dude. I'm on a scroll now. Wealthy people freaking own real estate. They own business. And they know how to maximize life insurance.
Yes.
That's one most people totally miss out.
Probably best kept secret.
It's like most people miss out on that one. Okay, so you teach on that, those 3 principles, those all the freaking time.
Sure.
So on this one, it's like, but as you're teaching wealth, which you do, when I was teaching it, I just saw like so many people, they wanted money, but they didn't know why they actually wanted money. And it was too vague for them. It was like, oh, I want financial freedom. It's like, okay, but why though? But why? And as you know, entrepreneurship is tough enough with all the crap you got to go through. You're actually literally going through literal crap right now in your own life. We're talking about
that,
and that's just part of entrepreneurship. And if you don't know why you actually want this, it's too easy to quit. It's too easy to be like, okay, never mind, I'm out. Because that car is not strong enough to push you, especially like I'm like personally with you. The crap you're going through right now, if it was just about a car, that's not worth it to take what you're going through right now.
No.
Like no one wants what you're going through right now, right? We'll talk about it later as you guys get into it. But so I want you to answer this question right here and then sign your name right here.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about this.
Me and you will talk about this talking point right here.
Okay, let's do it. All right, brother.
Here we go. So Jeremiah the Bull says, money is influence. Money is influence. So I love the freaking answer. But first, I want to know why you think for you, not think, but why for you, money is influence.
Yeah. So my company's called Alpha Influence.
Okay.
Right. And obviously I get shit for the name, and we could talk about the shit I take for that. But when I started this, I did not want to just start some, financial company. I wanted to be more than that, right? I wanted to actually build something that could make a difference in people's lives, that could actually make a change in this country, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, what it's all about is this world, whether we like it or not, revolves around money.
Yeah.
Money is that value that we attach to everything in our life. And when we send out tweets and when something happens in the world, at the end of the day, it's the people with the influence, with the money, with that edge to make that difference in the world. Those are the people who rule the world. It's not politicians. As much as we want to, go back for the politicians, they're puppets.
Yeah.
It's the people with money who actually determine what happens in this country, what happens in the world, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
When you have money, you have the power to influence what happens in this world, whether it's through marketing dollars or through, honestly, even just donating to charity. There's so much shit happening in this world. If you want to save the turtles, if you want to save the whales even, if you want to save climate change, you can't do it if you don't have money.
Yep.
I really don't care how much you believe in it. If you haven't become that person and stepped into that life where you had to become this person to make that money, to build that business, whatever it is, you don't have the influence to do it. You're calling upon other people who actually have the influence, begging them to donate, begging them to do it. If you want to make a difference, if there's something that you're sick and tired of seeing, for me, it's bullying and child sex slavery and some of the most evil things that happen in this world. You can't make any difference without money.
Yep.
And that's why, to me, money is influence.
No, dude, I love it, and I think our answers are basically the same. Is like, when you think about money and what money has potential.
Yes.
Another word I love for money, answer that I love for money is money is energy.
That's a good one.
And when I actually did a deep dive on this concept of money is energy. And if you think about this, all money is representing is our stored energy that we spent.
Yeah.
So it's for you to have money, $1, $8, doesn't matter, for whatever money it is, this dollar bill is $10, okay? For you to get that $10, you had to do something to get that $10. That's how you get it. It doesn't matter if it was even from investing. Okay, but where'd you get that money from?
Right.
And it all comes back to you had to, even when you go make the investment, okay, but you had to go do research. You had to go look into it, decide if you want to make it. Okay, so money is just representing stored energy. Now, if money represents stored energy, then when I'm giving you, if I buy something from you, what we're really trading off is our energy.
Yeah.
Well, because let's say you have ABC product, and I want to buy that product. Well, it took you energy to build that.
Yeah.
It took me energy to make this money, and we're going to trade our energies. Is what we're trading. At the end of the day, the money's just representing what I was able to get for my energy that I spent. Okay. Now here's where it gets crazy.
I like this.
This is where I'm going with influence.
This is good. Yeah.
To me, where me and you immediately connected at was with Tim Ballard and OUR.
Yeah.
Like child sex trafficking to me is just like I don't even understand the concept of it. Like I can't even go on the road because it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
Okay. I donate money to Tim, and I don't have it in here, but it's in my office. I can show it to you. And when we donated money to Tim, he came back and he gave me a plaque, and on the plaque was Mexican $100 bill. On this
peso?
plaque. A peso.
Oh.
Okay. And he was given to me, and he said, "Hey, I want to give this to you." And he said, "That money there, that's on that thing right there, that's the money that I took your money. I converted it to pesos. The team was in Mexico, and that's the money that we used to buy those children back for their lives. Wow. That was your money, Drew.
Wow.
Just converted to Mexican, and that was the actual money that he used." Okay.
Wow.
Now, when it says money is influence, like you're talking about, I'm choosing to use my money to influence the world for either good or bad.
Yes.
It's my choice.
Yep.
Money's neutral.
Yes.
So think about this. That same $100 pesos, that same actual $100 pesos could have been used to influence the child for being saved, brought out of it, and actually given true love and dreams.
Right.
Or that same $100 pesos could have been influenced and bought the kid to actually rape the kid.
Right.
The same $100. So
Exact
influence,
same. Yeah.
influence. When I give OUR my money, I'm influencing the world for better.
Yeah.
I'm influencing that kid who has no hope to think about this, dude. This is so vile.
Yeah.
To not be raped tonight. Like a 9-year-old boy being raped by an adult male.
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about, dude?
The fact that that's even a thing should make us all lose sleep.
Dude, it's like, so to me, I on the show, I've heard 100+ incredible answers.
Yeah.
And to me, from my word, is money is influence. Because I can influence to change the world.
Yes.
Or I could choose to influence to do bad in the world.
Yes.
But money is influence, because it's going to influence Tim to go and all of his team to go save that child, or it would be to influence a broker to go buy the kid. Dude, it's like so freaking powerful. So I love your world, dude.
Can I say one thing on that is the only thing necessary for evil to triumph in this world is for good men to do nothing.
Yeah.
And by men like us who sit back and choose not to do anything, choose not to build the business, choose not to make the money, choose not to use that money for influence, That's why I say it's like entrepreneurs take it personal.
Yeah.
Because if you see the fact that there's children being raped,
Yep.
literally there are children being sold and raped, or even worse for like Tim talks about how they're being sold for like getting murdered and so they could harvest their organs.
Harvesting.
It's the most dark and evil things that you can even imagine. This is happening, in my opinion, on our watch.
Sure.
It happens because we let it. The only reason evil happens is because we let it. So it's up to us to stand up to make it stop.
Yeah.
If it's going to stop, it's because good men did something, because they created that energy, they created that influence to go and make that difference, that change. You can tweet and yell all you want, but until you actually do something about it, take massive action and channel that energy into it, you're not going to make a damn of a difference.
Yep.
That's it.
100% agree, dude. I freaking love your answer. And I'm going to go into counterpart here with you. Alpha Influence, the word influence again, is your company name. Yeah. I'm going to go to that for a second. Okay. Why did you name your company Alpha Influence? Yeah. Where did it come from?
Well, so I don't know how much you know about my story as a kid. So you see on there my nickname being the Bull.
Yeah, the Bull.
Right? My nickname as a kid used to be the Fat Bull.
The Fat Bull.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was bullied very heavily as a kid. Right? One of the things they would repeatedly do to me is like every day going to school, I felt like I was going to war, like just like I had these butterflies. I was literally puking like before I was going to school as a kid. Almost every day. I was scared every day to get beat up and have this happen. One of the things they do, they beat the shit out of me, pin me down, a group of 5 or 6 of them, you know, hold me down, literally pour chocolate milk in my mouth saying the Fat Bull needs his milk, stuffed tater tots or whatever food they grabbed that day.
How old were you? What grade?
This would happen for years.
Are we talking grade school, junior high? Or
we're talking like elementary school when I was a kid, around like 6 years old till I was about 11.
Okay.
You know, it happened repeatedly, right? And it wasn't until one day specifically where I felt worse than ever, where I rolled over on my hands and knees and I looked at everybody else, all these kids, and I knew they felt bad.
Yeah.
Number one thing is I knew they felt bad, but they didn't do shit.
Oh, the kids
who were watching.
That were watching. Okay.
They were watching.
Okay.
Then that's the thing, is I rolled over my hands and knees, I had blood in my nose, chocolate milk in my hair and all this. And the one question I asked myself is, why won't any of you help me?
Yeah.
Why won't any of you do something? Why won't any of you help me?
Right.
I went home that day, and long story short, just to kind of give you an idea, you know, this has been going on for a long time. My mom sees me and she's just, you know, breaks into tears. She's freaking out. We got to tell somebody. We already talked to teachers, already talked to principal. At the end of the day, we tried everything. So then she brings me to my dad, and my dad sees me, and he immediately, just something clicked in him. Some rage, something happened where he told my mom, he said, come here. He pulls me aside away from my mom, and he sat me down. He said, no one's coming to save you. But that's okay, because you're all you need. You're going to either have to be great or you're going to be nothing, because the wolves will always take advantage of the sheep. You're going to have to be the hero of your own tale. Yeah. Then he proceeded to kick me out of the house. He said, get out of my house and go find one of those kids, and you don't come home until until you beat one of them up. He literally kicked me out of the house so I could go beat a kid up. He gave me no choice, right? So essentially, I was forced to. I was given no other choice. I literally, long story short, I ended up going over there, found one of the kids with all the rage, beat him up, and walked away with the most sound reassurance of, I did it, right? I did it. And when I came home, my dad taught me that lesson again. He said, son, if you're not going to be great, then you'll be nothing, because only the ones who strive for greatness, strive to be the best they can be, strive to be the strong ones who can not only protect themselves and then also go out and protect others. Yeah. That is a true leader. And that has stuck with me my entire life up to this point where I wanted to start this business. I wanted to start a business that was more than, again, just numbers, just making money. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to represent something that could actually be a banner for everyone else to unite under, that we will do whatever it takes to stand up, be that leader, be the alpha, and go make a difference in this world. So I named it Alpha Influence because obviously we've seen the world alpha, very controversial, but at the end of the day, we need alphas. Yeah. We need men and women to be alphas. We need the leaders to step up and rise up and to take it personal, to take responsibility for what's happening and say, I'm the one who's going to make that difference. No one's coming to save us. It's up to me. Mm. And that message of be great or be nothing is that if I do not do this, then who will? Mm. So yes, it has to do with money. Yes, we talk about all these things of, where you put your money, but that's all just a byproduct of what we want to become. Because that just happens to be one of the best ways to do it. And so why I named it Alpha Influence as opposed to I don't know, something financial or something, I don't even know what.
Star Financial.
Sure, yeah, something like that. Is because I want everyone who joins Alpha Influence to know right off the bat, it's more than money. You're doing this because you can be someone who can make a difference. You can become someone who makes an influence in the world, whether it's with millions of people or maybe it's just with your friends and family. It doesn't matter. If you do not choose to be that person, then you failed yourself and everyone else you could have helped along the way.
Yeah.
That be greater than nothing mentality is, I didn't care. All those kids, I don't care about, like that they felt bad. They didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And so I refuse to be one of those people who will not do anything. And I don't want anyone else in my group who won't do anything, that we will do everything in our power, whether it's the risk you have to take, the courage you have to do to put yourself out there on social media, or actually, taking like the loans or whatever it is, you have to be willing to do that. And so that's why I named it Alpha Influence, because I wanted to be more than just something about, nickels and dimes.
So a lot to unpack there.
Right.
I got a ton of questions.
Okay.
Hope I can keep on track and not. Well, I'll probably get with other questions as you talk here. First, I want to go through. I want to back up for a second here and go through the kid standpoint. I want to ask the question. When you're 8 years old.
About 11
old, right?
when this really happened. Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Okay. 11 years old, and this is really starting to go down. One thing I want to ask you is like, I'm going to ask from both sides of it. So I want to you talk about the side of when you were looking at the kids that were doing nothing, the thought process you had.
Yeah.
I want to know the thought process you had about the 4, 5, 6 kids that were doing bullying.
Right.
What's your thought process on why, like you said, why aren't you helping me?
Yeah.
If I ask the question, why do you think they were bullying? Not just you, but they were not just bullying you. They're bullying anybody they can find. That's the nature.
Right.
Why were they bullying, do you think? Why do you think kids bully?
I think, kids bully because they're insecure.
Uh-huh.
At the end of the day, you only bully someone if you don't really value who you are. Mm-hmm. And it's an easy way to try and elevate yourself above other people.
It's a fake alpha too.
Exactly. It's a fake alpha, right? It's someone who doesn't have the security of mind to know who they are. Uh-huh. And I think kids who, aren't given that, aren't taught to actually do difficult things in their life, be bullies because they feel like it gives them some form of status. It feels like it puts them in a certain position. And I'm not saying they actively think that way. I think that's just nature. Mm-hmm. I think just naturally, one of the ways we resort to if we want to, elevate ourselves, we try to tear other people down.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a simple way, and I was an easy target. You pick the easier targets because that's the easiest way, right?
Yep.
And I've thought about this a lot. At the end of the day, I'm not totally sure why they would do that or why they continue to do it and they didn't fucking stop until I started, fighting them. But
it does make sense when you think about it. I mean, there's obviously a lot of psychology there, but it does make sense what you're saying is that they have a piece of natural insecurity that's there, but they want to feel secure. They want to feel, bigger, stronger, better. Yeah. But they're super insecure. Mm-hmm. And so the only way they know to show that is by defeating, winning, overseeing, if you will, controlling the situation, and it gives them that feeling of alpha, if you will,
right? Exactly,
the fake alpha that's there. So it makes complete sense. The last question I ask you about it is, and now I want to go through your side of it. Okay. So here we have the kids. Why aren't why aren't you helping me? The bullying of the thought is, why are you doing this? Because of the insecurity. And I'm gonna go through the side. What was going on in your head of why you're being bullied? Like, I was never bullied as a kid, and so I'm trying to think through, if I was getting bullied, what would I be thinking? Does it hurt your self-worth? Does it hurt your emotional fortitude? Like what does that mental side of it go through?
That's a great question, because very few people have ever asked me that. At the end of the day, I don't know what I was thinking, except for the fact that I started to believe them.
Believe them.
Yeah, I started to believe them. I started to think why I'm getting bullied is because I am fat. I got bullied because I am, a pussy or whatever, excuse my language, but that's the verbiage that I was called,
Yeah, sure.
I started to believe them because that's what I was being told, and I didn't know better.
Yeah.
And so what was going through my head is I just, honestly, what always went through my head is just, please not today. Please stay away. Was there a question
why me?
Every day. And that's the problem. Uh-huh. That's the problem, is I kept asking why me. Yeah. I kept asking, why is this happening to me? I kept asking, why won't any of you help me? I kept looking at me as if why is this happening to me? And it wasn't until my dad pulled me aside and he said, it's not about you. It's about who you can become. Not only stand up for yourself, but guess what? There's other kids having the same problem.
Yeah.
And if you don't do something about it, if you don't stand up to be the kid that will actually help, then you're a hypocrite. And you're a hypocrite for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So if I see a problem happening in the world, whether it's child sex slavery, I'm a hypocrite if I don't do something about it.
Yeah.
Because I remember asking myself why, or will anyone help me? And I think about these kids in the darkest of hells. I know for a fact they're praying to God. They're praying. They're asking themselves, why me? And as a child, what can you tell them? Why them?
Yeah.
Why is that happening to them? What do they deserve? Like they're asking themselves that. Then they start to believe that that's all they're worth because this is happening to them. And that's along the lines of what my thought process was. And it wasn't until my dad really gave me the hard truth, the honest truth of what I had to face, and literally forced me to face that.
Yeah.
In my mind, I had no choice. I couldn't come home, back home, until I faced my fears.
Right.
And so it wasn't until he forced me to do that I really, and I actually did it, that I saw a new light, and that was, completely life-changing,
I want to ask you another question you brought up during that last phase here.
Sure.
Which was, you said a phrase, be great or be nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, to me, it's a super powerful statement.
Yeah.
It's one of those statements that to me is like touches your inside, your soul.
Yeah.
Like when I was at your office at the bullpen, and you had that, it was like a painted mural on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, the first thing you fucking see is like, be great or be nothing.
Yeah.
I think you should put like be great or be nothing, sign bitch in it. So what does it mean to you? Like why it's such a powerful phrase, but it's kind of like a creed or a motto.
It is.
If it's a mission statement you have. Tell me about that phrase.
Well, that was word for word what my dad told me. You have to be great or you'll be nothing. And what he told me is that it's not okay to just be okay. The average. Yes, the average life is the most selfish life you'll ever live. And he said, and I've thought about this more and more. The mediocre life, the average life, is the most selfish thing you'll ever do, and the world's full of it. The world's full of people who just settle for mediocrity, for this average life, for never having to overstretch themselves, for settling for less they can be. And that's the most selfish thing you'll ever do, because you're just looking at you. You're just looking at what you can do for you, when you don't realize if you took the risk that we've taken, if you pushed yourself to the level that you could push yourself to be the best you can be, how many people could you actually help? Whether it's actually just inspiring them, or maybe helping them with their fitness, their mentality, the money, whatever it is. By settling for mediocrity, it is the most selfish thing you'll ever do. And if you're a believer in God, God spits out the lukewarm, meaning the people who settle for mediocrity. No one was born, pushed through, like the womb to be mediocre, to be average. Everyone on this earth can make a difference, can make an impact. And if you just do the math, if we all just focus on being the best we could be, you wouldn't have these problems. You say the man in the mirror is the most important one. It is the most important one. So be great or be nothing is a statement that I know my dad told me, but to me is, are you settling? Because what is be great? And I've had people even, they make fun of that phrase, like, oh, I'm going to be great or be nothing. Yeah, you better. Because what does it mean to be great for you? For you, greatness is different than me. For him, it's different. But at the end of the day, it's you living up to the best you. It's him living up to the best him. It's never settling for what God put you on this earth to be and the people you could have helped along the way. Be great or be nothing is a mission statement for a true alpha, because come back to the word alpha, people want to think of an alpha as like this toxic male, or like this, douchebag bodybuilder with just toxic is the word they always put with alpha. That is so misconstrued, because an alpha is a protector. An alpha is a leader. An alpha is someone who goes above and beyond to prepare himself or herself to be put in a position to make a difference. An alpha, if you look at just animals, is meant to watch over the pack at their own risk. The alpha is the one who fights off the wolves to protect their pack. That's the job of the alpha.
Yeah.
And so why is it so controversial to be an alpha? Jordan Peterson says, you should be an alpha. You should be a monster and control it for the time when you need it. We need more alphas. We need more leaders. We need people to stand up for freedom and to not let people intrude on our freedom, whether it's political or whether it's money. All the shit you see, it takes alphas to make that difference.
Yeah.
And that's what it means to be great or be nothing.
Yeah, I freaking, like I said, I love the phrase, be great or be nothing. And I was just reading today this morning during my morning routine, and it was teaching the philosophy of the hardest decision that you can ever make in business is choosing to be great.
Yes. Yeah.
Because as an entrepreneur, you can get to a very comfortable level that's even more comfortable than the average person.
Yep.
Like there's the average person that is really not comfortable, but they're, let's say, average. But then as you get in entrepreneurship, you get to this point where it's just like, dude, you're just comfortable. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here and I have money, I have fine, like I'm good. Like I'm just gonna ride this puppy out.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardest decision you ever make as an entrepreneur is choosing to be great.
Yes.
It's not actually harder to choose to be great than it was to choosing to start the company. It's because and that decision by itself is super tough for a lot of people.
Right.
But they say it's even more difficult to choose to now go to, because when you leave as a good company, you leave good to go great, that means you're going to go through pain, struggles, more risk, more everything, right?
Yes.
And this is actually a great segue into literally you're going through it right now. Like literally this is a great segue because of what you're going through right now.
Yeah.
Right? So you were already at $25 million a year as your second company with over $10 million in revenue that you had built. This was at $25 million. You could have literally put it in neutral and just let it keep riding out just the way that it was.
Yep.
And been absolutely, your wife, financially great.
Yep.
Just let it ride, baby.
Agreed.
And it would have been great for you, dude. Instead, because you choose to be great, which means you choose to push and push and push when you don't even need to, but you choose to go do that. In that moment, you choose to launch Alphacon.
Yeah.
But when you choose to be great, that also means tough times are going to come your way. That's just the nature of the beast, man.
Right.
So when you chose to be great, you chose to push yourself and go launch Alphacon, which, dude, I thought was like, oh, that's brilliant. I totally get it because I understand what an alpha is. Like, alpha's not that dick that's running around being a bully.
Right.
That's not an alpha. That's the opposite of what a true alpha is, right? That's the fake alpha.
Yes.
And so I fully support the name of it, Alpha, and you opened Alphacon. So tell me a little bit, tell the viewers a little bit about what happened when you, first let's talk about Alphacon is an event you wanted to put on.
Yeah.
You're not selling anything at it.
Nope.
You have no sales pitch at it, but you want to put an event on really out of your own pocket, a 2-day training event that you can, that other speakers, buddies of yours, I don't know, maybe 15 of them are going to come in and drop as much entrepreneurship knowledge as they can. You're literally fitting the bill for probably 70% of the entire thing you're going to fit the bill for.
Yeah.
And to try to help entrepreneurs. Great idea. This is your idea. Great idea. Inside of it, you do it, and you go live with it, if you will. You start posting on Instagram. All right, now tell the viewers what takes place.
Yeah. Well, shit, where do I start? So
remember, this is because you chose to be great.
Yes.
That's what happens.
Success breeds contempt.
Yeah.
You can, like, if you don't want to make waves, right? You don't want to have people hate you, be mediocre.
Yeah.
Fit in, right? Like just be mediocre and settle, right? And I knew that. I've always known that that's what I've had to do, and it happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
I thought I had hate before, but this is a whole nother level. So we launched Alphacon. Again, taking some of my close friends who I know have had crazy amounts of success, way bigger than what I've ever had. And I couldn't wait to bring a group of people together to listen to what these people have to say, because what they've been through, the message they could share will change their life. If you attend Alphacon, your life will not be the same if you apply what they're going to say, because they've done it. They've been there. They've done that. They've had to push through that pain, So we launch it, and the woke mob gets a hold of it on Twitter and Reddit. And for a long time, it's still trending. As we're filming this, it's still trending on Reddit, Twitter, people just blowing it up. We're talking tens of thousands of retweets, on TikToks being made, making fun of, BetaCon, or calling it, like making fun of trying to be an alpha, poking fun at like just the event in general, or just us, right? Like, I mean, they're tearing the speakers apart that are on this flyer, right? Myself included. And, we even had, this somewhat famous comedian get a hold of it, and he puts it on his social media with millions to see, making fun of it. And it's still going. It's still blowing up. They're relentless with it.
You told me they reached out to the hotel.
Oh my gosh,
bombarded the hotel. The cancel culture.
Yeah, the cancel culture, the woke mob. They called the hotel. The hotel calls us with multiple emails and multiple calls. They said their phone was ringing all day, and all of them saying that this is a white supremacy, conference, that this is racism, that I employ the man who went on the killing spree in Colorado, that everyone's in danger for us putting on this event, that we should cancel it immediately. Just making up anything they can, trying to cancel the event.
Right.
Calling the hotel and we had to talk to the hotel. They had to run a background check on our entire company and who we are, the speakers, just to verify that it wasn't endangering them.
Right.
Just because the name is Alphacon, because we put on an event, and it just somehow triggered that cancel culture mob, that woke mob, and of course, naturally that would, right?
So it's amazing. I got a couple thoughts here. It's amazing. Go back to wrap up the point of choosing to be from good to great, right? Which is also a great book by Jim Collins. And he talks about, that choice that you have to make. This is part of the choice you're making of having a good company and saying, okay, I'm gonna push harder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open this, I'm gonna put more money on the line, more risk on the line, and I'm gonna try to go out here and build this. And then as soon as you do, it doesn't matter. There's always gonna be fights and struggles and as I've done it before, where you're on this journey of oh man, this feels great. I'm gonna go accomplish this. My dreams are gonna come. My vision. I'm gonna drive through it. And then if you've done this before, there's going to be struggles.
Yep.
Because growth is pain. And there's going to be struggles, but then every once in a while, you will get hit left field with no mitt, dude, of okay, I did not see that one coming.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would have not have saw, if I was in your shoes, I would not have saw that cancel culture
Definitely no.
coming after me, right?
No.
It's with all due respect, it's we're not that big of a deal that, it's not
right.
Joe Rogan's putting this event on. It's everybody follows him. It's we don't have
or
that many,
Donald Trump or something like that.
Exactly. We don't have that many followers. Why are you bothering me?
Yeah.
And boom, you get freaking just hammered, dude. But that happens when you choose to be great.
Yeah.
Shit's gonna freaking go down, which is why most people won't.
Yeah.
They won't freaking choose to go down that path on that road. So here's my next question though. Cancel culture hits. I want to ask you the question. Why do you think the word alpha offends, butthurts so many snowflakes?
Yeah.
Why is it that they're triggered by the word alpha?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it threatens their way of life.
Ooh, God, that's good.
It threatens the way they live and who they are and their excuses, their reasons, their victimhood. The idea of being an alpha, the idea of someone who takes responsibility for what's happening in this world, the idea of someone who stands up to actually make a difference, the idea of a leader will always threaten the weak, right? Mm-hmm. So the idea of it just putting on a conference. So what? Here's the thing: they claim it's just this big alpha conference teaching about it and not be an alpha male. What if it was?
Right.
Actually, it happens to be a business conference where we're going to show you how to be the best you can be, blow up your business 2022. We're going to talk about freedom because that's what it's all about. What if it was about being an alpha male? Why is that such a triggering thing? Because it threatens your way of life. It threatens your victim mentality, where you sit around and complain that everything else is combating you, is holding you back. There's I was just talking to, I think we were actually just speaking to somebody today where they have to take, where they have to take a mental health break during the day. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I don't remember last time I had a weekend. Weekends stress me out, right? Breaks stress me out, right? But you're craving these breaks. You're craving this victim mentality that gives you almost this blanket, this excuse that relieves all pressure.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. They want the pressure off their shoulders. They don't believe in themselves enough to handle that pressure, that they can do it, that they should do it. So they want to blanket themselves with mediocrity, with this is who I am. And they start labeling themselves as, someone who has, extreme anxiety, depression. They can't handle it. They're triggered. You can just keep going. But the idea of an alpha threatens that way of life.
Yeah. Because
an alpha says, you can fucking do whatever you put your mind to.
Right.
You're full of excuses, right? Losers make excuses. Winners get results. Mm-hmm. So if you're full of excuses, it's on you. At the end of the day, an alpha takes responsibility for what's happening, not only to himself, but those around him. Mm-hmm. That is the true definition of alpha. And so if that threatens so many people, then good. It needs to. The fact that it does threaten people shows me that this is a big need in our country, that it is something we're going to have to combat. It is something we're going to have to teach people, that you do have to be an alpha. You do have to take off the excuses, get rid of the victim mentality, get rid of this mediocre way of life, and stand up for something. Mm. But then they do stand up for something. It's to fight against what we're doing.
They're actually very good at it.
Very good. They're very strategic.
It's like they have some alpha leader leading them.
Right.
Because somebody they're all like at the same time, they're like, oh, let's all go contact this, do this.
Yeah.
They're a great freaking army.
Oh yeah.
Of canceling stuff left.
Oh, they're
it amazes
strategic.
me how
They'll go after your ads, you know,
it's
and like
amazing what they
reroute
do,
your
inside of it. But yeah, dude, I was thinking through like, why is it trigger them? And your answer I think is spot on.
Yeah.
Because it will that word alpha will takes away their excuses to be average.
Yeah.
It's literally like, for me to be an alpha, I cannot be the beta, if you will.
Right.
I cannot be average. I cannot be the guy that sits back and does nothing.
Yeah.
I have to choose to be great. I have to choose to push. I have to choose to risk. I have to choose to grow. And therefore that word offends them.
Yes.
And shoots them into a freaking downward spiral of victimhood, which is part of the reason. Go back to the choose to be great or nothing, is part of the reason that what you're saying when you're talking about a while ago that I loved about it, because it actually also combats socialism.
Yes.
Which is what a lot of this stuff actually is boiling into.
Amen.
It's coming from, if you go back to the root of it, a lot of the root of it is being an alpha is saying no to socialism.
Yeah.
Because being an alpha is saying, let's go create a path, forge a path, build a path.
Yep.
And we'll take as many people on the road as we want to. And when you're along the road with me, if you decide to go forge your own path, I'll support you in forging your own path. That's a true freaking alpha inside of it. Is like, I want to take as many people down the road with me. And as we go down the road, I want you guys to then go down your own roads and create your own people, your own path through it. But in that process, if you choose to go do that, you take away all their excuses, and being great is hitting socialism, which is to me the root of all this shit that's going on.
Agreed.
It's choosing to be average.
Yes.
Socialism is literally choosing to be average.
Socialism is letting someone else take responsibility for your life.
Yeah.
Socialism is allowing someone else to think, I can dictate your life better, your health, managing your bills, how much money you actually get paid or make. We're going to manage it for you because we know better. The opposite of that is freedom. The opposite of that is capitalism. Capitalism is an alpha mentality.
Yep.
Freedom is an alpha mentality. It says, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Get out of my way, I'll do it. If you have freedom, you also have responsibility. If you have freedom, you have a lot of pressure. Because this is the great trade that that people talk about. When it comes to trading freedom for something as opposed to socialism, it's always trading freedom for security.
Yeah.
It's a very fake way of thinking, but you think you take the responsibility off the person who wants freedom because you give it to somebody else in a promise of security. They promise you security if you just give me a little bit of your freedom. And that is them trying to control your life. That's the wolves going after the sheep. And it's up to the alpha to stand up to that and push back on that. Yeah. That's what freedom is. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism says, I'm going to do it. Whatever I make is on me. Whatever I lose is also on me. And that's a big ask for a lot of people. And most people don't even want that. They don't even want to worry about paying their own bills. Yeah. They're so scared of it to check their bank account sometimes. Yeah.
You go back to the whole birth of the country. It was all born off of alpha. Yeah. It was all born off of entrepreneurship.
Yes.
It was all born off of capitalism. It was all born off of freedom.
Right.
It's what got us to where we're at. But over time, there's a great saying that says, make sure I say it right. I think it might have said this on your show. Hard times create or tough times create tough men.
Yes.
Tough men create easy times.
Yes.
Easy times create easy men. And easy men create tough times.
Yep.
And it just seems like we're just in this cycle now where it's like we've got this larger percent of the population, male and female, that just want to get a government money that comes to them, and they don't really have to do that much, and they can just kind of choose to be average and have the life that they think they deserve, and someone else can go pay for it.
Yeah.
And I think they have shifted to where America now sits on, the majority of people just want that.
Yep.
And fewer percentage of America wants, hey, let me go eat what I kill type of mentality. Right. Side of it. And the word alpha is like just a freaking sledgehammer to the freaking foot.
Yes.
Right in the toes of socialism, because it's saying, no, I'm the exact opposite of what you want.
Yeah.
I do not want us to always just pay for everybody else's way just because it's easy for you. So yeah, that does make sense, man. I was wondering, like, why are they so offended by that? Why are you so buttered by that word? I don't even understand, because to me it's like, it's exactly what we should all be.
Right.
Male, female, we should all be alpha, not as an alpha like killer, but like as a alpha that's a protector, that's a leader, that's a grower, that's a builder.
Yeah.
It represents who we all should be.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense to me why you wouldn't want to be that.
Yeah.
But to them, it's just like, God, it takes away all their excuses.
Yeah.
Because if there's someone who wants to be an alpha, the alpha will always be against socialism.
Yeah.
The alpha will always be against average.
Yes.
Which is what they all freaking want, dude.
Yes,
wow,
exactly.
What a great freaking answer, man.
Yeah.
What a great.
I mean, when we think of alpha, a lot of times we think of wolves. So then we portray what they want to portray it as is the bully.
Yeah, that's what they want. It's the exact opposite.
It is. If you think about, I think the best way I've ever heard a phrase was from Chris Kyle's father in his story, where he says there's three kind of people in this world. There's sheep, there's wolves, and then there's the sheepdog. And you better figure out who you're going to be. The sheep are the ones who are taken advantage of. There are the wolves who take advantage of sheep, but it's the sheepdog's responsibility to fight off the wolves and protect the sheep, right?
Yeah.
That to me is what an alpha is. But if you actually look at it from just perspective, again, animals, if you look at the alpha wolf in an alpha pack, the alpha wolf's job is the one to fight off, to protect the pack. It's the one to care for, the entire group. That is alpha. Alpha's protection. It's standing up for what you believe. That is the alpha mentality.
Yeah.
It's so much more than being a bully.
Totally respect and agree with it, man. And it's amazing as you do this, you get cancel culture, and it's very unique to look at where we're going to end up with in the next 5-10 years. It's like, dude, I'm very interested to see where this thing goes as it goes. Let me ask you one more question here. I've never asked this question ever on my show, but I got as a entrepreneur, as an alpha who keeps pushing himself. I've been working on some stuff.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a question I never asked before because it has to do with something else I'm working on.
Okay.
If your life was over and you're on your deathbed and you have pushed and pushed and pushed that we talked about, if you could be remembered in one word, what would the word be? It represents you to everybody, not just your family. It just represents this is what I want to be remembered as. One word. What was that word? It's a tough. I've never asked it before. It's a good question though.
Yeah, it's a fantastic question.
It's a good question.
And the only way to truly know that is the first, because I want to think about it, but it's the first gut response that comes to my mind. This is one of the biggest breakthroughs I ever had in my life, and it comes down to what my father taught me, and it's warrior.
Warrior.
I want to be known as a warrior. I want to be known as a warrior for good, for freedom. Sure. But I want people to remember me as someone who fought.
Yeah.
Who never gave up, who never ever, gave up on the fight. To me, when my dad, when he forced me out as a kid, I found something inside myself.
Yeah.
I fought my demons.
Yep. Something birthed.
It was someone I've never felt that way before, and it wasn't even. I actually felt bad.
Yeah.
I still felt bad for the kid, but I always look back at that moment, and I was proud that I fought. I was proud that I fought back, and from that moment forward, my dad always said, "Lean into it." When you feel that fear, you have to lean into it. And the very verbiage when I sat down with you says, "I'm going to lean into this," is because it will. Like when I was walking over to that kid's house, everything inside me wanted to run. Yeah. I literally puked twice on the way over there. I'm like 11-year-old kid, and I've still got chocolate milk in my hair. My nose is still bloody for what they did to me, and I'm so scared. And I was pissed off at my dad for making me do that. And I wanted more than anything to not do it. I wanted to go home, and I wanted to get in my bed. I wanted to cry. Yeah, that's all I wanted. Mm-hmm. But when my father gave me no other option, maybe there was another option, but to me there wasn't. Right in my mind, there was no other option. It forced something out of me that I never felt before. And walking home, I was so excited to tell my father and to show him the bruises on my knuckles after I beat the poor kid up, the poor bastard. And from then on, I crave that feeling of I will fight back. Yeah. And that's I'm grateful for the nickname of the Fat Bull because it ended up becoming the Bull. Mm-hmm. Where I will fight. I will lean into this. I will, like in football, I'm not going to back away. I will lean into it. My coaches got mad at me because I wouldn't slide or anything. I wanted to lean into it. I didn't want to be someone who would ever shy away from the fight. Yeah. And the one word that comes to my mind is I want to be a warrior. Warrior. I wanted to be known as a warrior.
It's a great freaking answer.
Thank you.
And it's so true what you did first, because as an entrepreneur, it's like you first. And I've actually trained myself on this every morning right now. This is part of my thing that I'm working on, is understanding my inner, what do you call it, gut or my heart.
Yes, that intuition. Yeah.
And every morning I ask myself a certain question, and I'm training myself to listen to the heart, the gut, the first thing that pops up.
Yes.
And versus what you said, it's like you're asked a question. We're interviewed all the time, and you ask a question like, okay, what is the best answer that I can give?
And that is a great question,
right?
by the way.
You want to give the best answer that out there. So it's like you have this like gut feeling of what it should say,
right.
And then you go through this like very quickly your mind starts processing, okay, what's the best answer that I can say?
Right.
And most of the time, majority of the time, the best answer is what's coming up from your gut because it's the true you. It's the real you that's coming up there. And I love how you processed it and then said, okay, forget it. I'm just gonna go with the gut freaking answer.
Yeah.
And the other side of it that I was gonna tell you is like you've said it twice now. I was having to say it earlier and now I'm gonna for sure say it. Follow my gut on this one.
Yeah.
Is you talked about the word warrior, and I always think about the phrase that I love that says I'd rather be a warrior in a garden.
Yes.
Than a gardener in a war.
Yes.
And it's so freaking true. And that to me is like part of the alpha.
That's Sun Tzu, right?
That's Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
I would rather be a warrior in a garden.
Yeah.
Meaning I want to know how to garden and I want peace.
You want peace.
I don't want the fights.
Yeah.
Like you didn't want this fight with the cancel culture.
I did not.
There's nothing of what you wanted to deal with.
Nothing about it I want to know.
But on the same hand, if there is a war, just understand I'm not a gardener. And I will come out and become I will be the warrior you'll see who I really am.
Yes.
Because you want that ability to God, could you imagine being a gardener having to go to war and what that would freaking be like for someone, right? And it happens.
Yeah.
Especially if you go back in history, it freaking happens all the time.
All the time. They call them up. Yeah.
But on the same hand, if you also go back in history, I was just watching a show recently. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. But it was where this was like in the knights and I'll call it for lack of for quick story would be like Braveheart time, right? And it was
medieval time.
Dude, they would just go like from farm town to farm town and just get people to say, hey, we gotta go over here and fight this, and they would just throw their pitchforks down and their rakes and stuff, shovels, and go pick up their swords and spears and take off. That was truly a warrior in a garden.
Yep.
That was it. That was like the actual freaking you saw it take place, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, could you imagine the way around, like taking a gardener and throwing him out into a war, you know?
Yep.
And so, anyways, I thought about it when you said it. I thought it twice now when you said it, but I had to say it that time, man. So, what a great freaking word, dude.
Thank you.
And for the first time I ever asked it, I will ask that for sure many, many times in the future.
Sure. That is a great question.
So, wrapping up here. So, if they want to go to Alphacon, if they want to follow you more on Alpha Influence, what's the best place for them to go right now?
Well, follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active, The Bull Evans. You can actually go to thebullegvans.com. The Bull Evans pretty much straight across the board on all social media platforms. They can also check out more about Alpha Influence and what it is, Alphacon, at officialalphainfluence.com, but also thealphainfluence.com and on Instagram as well. So they can go check that out. Get a ticket to come to Alphacon if you're not listening this too late. Next one.
Where's your podcast at? Is it on YouTube as well?
It's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and SoundCloud. It's on actually a lot of platforms.
You got some good guests.
You're one of them. Dude. Yeah, there's been some incredible,
great guests come on.
I've been very honored to have some great people on, and I can't wait to keep having more. The Bullpen. It's on YouTube. It's Spotify, Apple.
And is it under just The Bullpen?
The Bullpen.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look up The Bullpen, that's what will come up as. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Jeremy, I love having the show, dude. It's been a freaking blast with you, and obviously we're going to do a lot of stuff together in the future as well.
I'm excited.
But I will always remember the word warrior when I think about you figuring out, dude.
Thank you.
You guys watch the show. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Money Is Show with Jeremiah the Bull, a.k.a. The Warrior. And we'll see you next week on The Money Is Show.